We now want to change gears a little bit and talk matters Ethiopia. It's been a very busy couple of days in Ethiopia with the resignation of Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn, and of course thereafter a declaration of state of emergency by the government. And joining us in studio from Frankfurt, Germany to talk a bit about this is the editor-in-chief of the Addis Standard, Sedale Lema. Lema, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Right, I know you're busy doing lots and lots of interviews with different international media houses, just showing you how much interest there is in Ethiopia at the moment. Help us to understand exactly what's happening, because on one hand we have the resignation or the announcement of a resignation by the Prime Minister, but immediately after that a state of emergency. Is that one step forward, two steps back for Ethiopia?
Well, it's a bit of a complicated thing to put it one step forward in the first place, because the resignation of the Prime Minister, unlike what it appears to be, is not really a normal business. It's an indication of the fracture within the ruling party. So this is not really a resignation as you would probably think about it. So I don't know if that could be mentioned as one step forward in the first place. But the declaration of the state of emergency has, again, put it to yet another level of uncertainty when it comes to the events that are unfolding in Ethiopia.
Okay, let's talk a bit about the transition, even as we are trying to understand what is driving the different factions in the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front coalition. How will the transition be handled? When do we expect the announcement of a new Prime Minister? What do you see over the next couple of months?
Well, I hope they are going to make it as soon as possible. But the process goes like this. The parties the major parties, the four parties that make up the EPRDF, have to forward their candidates to the council of the EPRDF, which is a 180-member council. And the council must elect the chairman of the EPRDF, which is then automatically taken as the next prime minister once it's approved by the parliament. The parliament is in recess now for the next 2 weeks. We hope that the parties will get into some kind of consensus to elect the next chairman as soon as possible, so that the parliament can approve the next prime minister. Whether it's an interim or a permanent, it's yet to be known. So the process might take, it's holding everybody by a guess right now. So we really don't know, but we hope that they will facilitate this as soon as possible.
What sort of person can bring Ethiopia together at this time and move the nation forward? What are the characteristics of the person that you hope would be able to, take over from Desalegn?
Well, the political crisis is not an easy one to navigate right now. And I hope that the party will choose a person that will have an impact of pacifying the nation right now, because what we need most importantly is a guarantee that citizens' rights is not going to be put under the state of emergency. So we need a figure that could talk back to the people, that could calm the nation. This is 104 million estimated people that are now left dangling by the cliff for this decision of the Prime Minister to resign. So it's better that they pick up somebody that has a support, somehow a popularity amongst Ethiopians, and somebody who could speak back to the people, that the people can be calmed down right now.
Okay. How does this all play in with the narrative of Ethiopia as a rising giant, 90 million plus people, an economy that's growing, double-digit growth is what we're talking about? How does all this play out with the unrest and the state of emergency? What does this mean for Ethiopia's economy?
Well, it doesn't bode well. The economy suffered a lot during the first 9 months state of emergency. That placed the day-to-day activities of citizens and the government under the thumb of the army. The economy suffered a lot, but the economy has been suffering for years now. It's not just the state of emergency. Of course, that has exacerbated it. So this state of emergency does not bode well to this struggling economy the crunch in foreign currency reserve in the country is being felt in every sphere of life, from pharmacists to small importers are feeling the pinch of the shortage of the foreign currency. So the economy is struggling as it is, and this state of emergency is going to be, impacted very significantly if they don't lift it up now.
Very worrying for business people of Ethiopia, I'm sure. Finally, if you look at this, with a long-term approach, what do you see in terms of how far Ethiopia is from greater political inclusion and an end to human rights abuses? How far do you see before, those things will come to an end, human rights abuses and, of course, more political inclusion?
Well, Ethiopia is a contradiction. We all know that. The world over knows that its human rights record is it's dismal. But on the other hand, the government in place has somehow consolidated a bit of legitimacy in the eyes of the international community. Ethiopians have always been rejecting this government in one way or another, if not all of them. So it's a contradiction. Yes, we have come a long way when we are compared to the regimes in the past, but comparing the current regime's performance of human rights issue with the regimes in the past has outlived its purpose by now, and they shouldn't be drawing comparisons between the current government and the governments in the past, the Derg or the feudal governments, to say that our human rights record is better than the previous one. This kind of narrative has outlived its purpose by now. So they should be compared to their own performance and the performance of neighboring states like Kenya, where you are now, or other places in Africa. So, but by comparison to that, it's a very dismal record. But at the same time, of course, the economy has seen a significant improvement, but it's a very fragile one. It's susceptible to popular uprisings like this. It can be reversed at any time. We have seen that by the people's power. So this is not something that the government should sit back and take comfort at for having achieved it so far.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much just for painting a picture of exactly what is going on in Ethiopia and what we can expect over the next couple of days and months as well. We'll come back to you, sometime soon to talk a bit more about the transition and the changes there, even as we continue to monitor the situation. That being the editor-in-chief of the Addis Standard. She's based in Frankfurt, Germany. Sedale Lema, thank you for finding time to be here with us on